Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Daria, and in today's practice, we'll be working through a flow that moves progressively toward flying pigeon. The monthly theme on my channel is magic, and so I thought this flying posture would be very appropriate. This shape is a deep hip opener as well as an arm balance. And so for this practice, try just to approach it from a place of like playing into or playing toward flying pigeon. There's no pressure for it to be any certain way. All that you need is just yourself and a space to move, and whenever you're ready, let's get into it. We'll start seated in Sukhasana, so find your way here, and we'll just take a few moments to settle into the body and into the breath. So sitting bones anchored, knees are open, palms facing up to the sky or down on your thighs. Let your eyes fall closed and begin to feel your shoulders softening down your back. Try to drop everything that's happened so far in your day and feel it physically leaving your body. Or even if you've just woken up, drop anything that's clinging on from yesterday or from the week prior. And also try to relax around any pressure for what needs to happen later on today. Anything on a to-do list, set it aside for now so you can really experience this moment exactly as it is. And now start to scan through your body. Notice all your sensations, spaces of warmth or coolness, spaces that feel open, and maybe others that feel less open. Acknowledge everything and try not to create any preferences around your experience. Just let it be. And begin to drop your breath deeper into your pelvis so that when you inhale, it travels from the low belly through the ribs all the way to the surface of the collarbones. And when you exhale, just feel yourself anchoring more deeply into the space beneath you, settling into gravity. Take a few more rounds of breath here. If it's in your practice, find Ujjayi Pranayama, inhaling and exhaling through the nose, breathing into a slight constriction in the back of your throat. And in breathing into this space, the breath becomes this audible ocean wave-like sound. One last moment here. Set an intention for your practice. Maybe your intention is to release expectations around finding a certain expression of a posture. Maybe it's to find more play in your practice. Or maybe it's some sort of intention around your experience of encountering fear of flying. Whatever it is, take one more breath into it, through the nose, filling up. Take a cleansing sigh out of your mouth. Release. Blink your eyes open. Let's start by warming up the wrists and the hands. So interlace your fingers and just start to make some circles through your wrists, going in one direction first, nice and easy, without force, and then reverse the circles. And then now take it into like a roller coaster movement that flows through your elbows and your arms as well. Going one way, and then you can reverse. It might feel a little awkward getting the wave started in the other direction. That's okay. Good. And then extend your arms forward. Flex your fingers back toward your arms. And then point your fingers down, like you're trying to stretch the tips of your fingers to touch your forearms. And then lift once again. Spread the fingers wide as you're doing this. And then press the palms down. Couple more times just like this at your own pace. If you want to add a little revolution or rotation through the wrists, through these motions, go ahead and do so. Good, and then just flex the right fingers, pull back on them with the left hand, encouraging even more depth into the stretch in the forearm and the wrist. And release to switch sides. Left fingertips flex back, grab for them with the right palm, pull them back gently. Now make your way up to tabletop, hands and knees. Really anchor down into the four corners of your palms and then spread your fingers wide. Press into each finger pad like it's a little suction cup that's being glued to the earth. And then pull your fingers back toward the center of your palms. Now hug your hands toward one another. Notice how this activates like a ripple effect all the way up through the arms so the elbows become magnetized as well. Just breathe here for a moment and then begin to make some circles of the shoulders over the wrists. Keep your spine neutral and keep focusing on hugging your palms toward one another while the index finger mounds stay rooted. Reverse your circles. Come to neutral. Walk your knees a little more toward the midline. On your next inhalation, reach forward through your right arm and back through your left toes. Grow out as long as possible. As you exhale, hug left knee and right elbow to meet. Squeeze the core. Inhale, extend, reach long. Exhale, draw in and squeeze. Claw with left fingertips. One more time, inhale to extend. Now as you exhale, hold, squeeze, press elbow to knee for 3. For 2, press more firmly for 1, and release. Next side, inhale, left arm forward, right toes back. As you exhale, contract your core, hug knee to elbow. Inhale, extend, reach long. Exhale, draw it together, squeeze. One more time, breathe in, reach away. Breathe out, pull together, hold and squeeze for 3. For 2, kick your heel toward your sit bone for 1, and release down. Now take a few moments to play into your hips. So you might make circles through the pelvis, or it could be more like a figure 8 shape. Let it be kind of slinky and liquid, like you're made of water. If the action that you're taking has an opposite or a reverse, go ahead and reverse it. It's okay if it's not perfectly symmetrical, of course. And then neutralize, tuck your toes, breathe in. Breathe out and shift back into downward facing dog. Continue driving down into your thumbs and your index fingers and feel like they're hugging a little toward one another to help you to press the index finger mound down. Let's activate the feet too. So lifting your toes, spread them wider, and then really dig them down like you're clawing into soil or like the earth is soft beneath you. Knees can be a little bent. You can sway out the hips, stretch out the spine, and stretch your breath through any stickiness, massaging away the tension. Breathe in, lift your heels, firm your thighs. Round forward, high plank. Holding here for a few rounds of breath. Press the ground away from you so much so that your shoulders spread away from each other. Broad upper back, creating that dome effect. Draw your core in and up towards your back body. Charge your glutes and your thighs. And then from all this activation, elongate forward through the crown of your head and back through your heels. Press the ground away even more and see if you can feel almost buoyant here, like you're weightless or hovering. Inhale. Exhale and softly sink both knees to the mat, but go slow for 5. Activate your core. 4, 3, 2, knees still hover. On 1, the knees land. Inhale, cow tilt, lift your tailbone. Reach forward with your heart and up with your eyes. As you exhale, shift your hips back towards your heels, but at the same time, reach your heart forward, elongating the spine, active child's pose. Inhale, round forward through your hands and your knees, and then as you exhale, bring the tops of your thighs, the hips, the heart, and the chin to the earth. Untuck the toes. Tops of feet and toenails root. Energize your thighs. Press your sit bones toward the backs of your knees. Breathe in, lift your heart, lift your hands. Baby cobra. And just feel the fire in your back body. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Let your heart be like a spotlight that's shining forward and up. One more inhalation, lift higher. Exhale, place your palms. Curl your toes under, come through your hands and your knees, and then softly glide back into downward facing dog. Next, inhale, root your left toes, stretch your right leg high, three-legged down dog, and then stack your hip and bend your knee. Keep the right ribs spiraling toward the earth as you begin to make circles into your hips. It's like you're oiling the joint. Reverse your circles and let this movement stay pretty free. It doesn't have to be structured, really. Square your hips once again. All 5 right toenails point straight down as you kick high, extending past the edges of your toe tips. And then exhale, lift the left heel, hollow the core, look forward, step forward. Right foot to inner thumb. Sink the left knee to the earth. Breathe in, pull your feet together and rise up into Anjaneyasana, kneeling warrior. And then as you exhale, keep squeezing your inner thighs and let your hips melt down and forward. 2 more like this. The inhale drags back on right heel, pulls forward on left knee, and lifts up through the pelvic floor. And then the exhale, you sink into some depth. 1 more time. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to sink. Pull your feet together 1 more time. Now, exhale and interlace your fingers over the top of your right thigh. The thumbs can spin down toward the earth. Begin to tuck your tailbone under, press your pelvis forward. Draw your belly button back toward your spine and then round, chin toward chest. Energetically press your palms down into your right thigh and feel the stretch into the left hip flexor and thigh. If you're not feeling the sensation, try pressing your hips even more forward, or less that, more tucking the pelvis underneath of you. Big breaths. Release. Neutralize your spine. Place your palms to the earth. Step forward and fold forward. Bring your feet hips distance apart at the top of the mat. Take an inhale. Find a halfway lift, lengthening out of your spine. And then as you breathe out, just fold. Press down, reverse swan dive, and rise all the way up to stand. Arms extend wide and then stretch to the sky. Follow the fingers with your gaze. Exhale, palms meet in prayer at heart center. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, swan dive down, spine extends, core is connected, fingertips land in front of your toes. Next inhalation, root the fingertips, press into the left foot, and glide your right toes long and back behind you. As you exhale, bend your left knee deeply and land your right toes to the back of the mat, hips distance away. As you inhale, press through both big toe mounds and rise to stand in a high crescent lunge, fingertips to the sky. From your waistline down, feel the earthiness, the foundation, the steadiness. And then from the waistline up, grow. It's like a freedom through the spine. Draw in through the low belly and then stretch the breath into your heart space so that it inflates. Take 1 more inhalation. As you exhale, place your palms to the mat, step to plank, and take a vinyasa, lower halfway down through chaturanga. Untuck your toes. Inhale, upward facing dog, arc your heart. And exhale, glide your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Next inhalation, right toes root, left leg stretches high, 3-legged down dog, then stack left hip over right. Kick your heel towards your sit bone. Begin to make some circles.
and reverse. Square your hips. Breathe in, kick high, close your ribs and press your heart back toward your right thigh. Then as you exhale, float your right heel, hug in through your core, look forward, step forward softly. Left foot lands to the top of your space. Drop your back knee. Breathe in and let your arms rise into Anjaneyasana. As you breathe out, the hips start to melt down and forward. Every time that you inhale, find length, find a hugging into the midline, a squeezing of the inner thighs. Exhale, keep this and just sink. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Pull back on the left heel so the knee stacks over the ankle. Interlace your fingers over the top of your thigh. Begin to tuck your tailbone under. Hollow through the core. It's like your pelvic floor is being pulled up toward your sternum. Tuck your chin toward your chest and then start to press down into your palms, opening into the front of the right hip. Good. Lift your head, lift your eyes. Fingertips land to the top of your mat. Step forward and fold forward, feet parallel. Breathe in, halfway lift, lengthen out. Breathe out, fold down. Plug into big toes and pinky toes as you reverse swan dive. Rise up to stand and press your sit bones down towards your heels. Reach up, gaze up. Exhale, palms meet in prayer. Inhale, fingertips float to the sky. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. Fingertips land in front of the right toes. Keep that set of toes anchored as the left leg glides back. Standing L, inhale. Exhale, keep connection through your core as you bend your right knee and step the left toes softly to the back of the mat. Find your feet, and as you inhale, let it carry you up into high crescent lunge. Exhale, shoulders soften away from your ears. One more breath in. Inflate the heart. Imagine it's like a balloon being filled with helium. As you exhale, palms circle down, step back to plank, and flow. Halfway lower, chaturanga. Press the toenails down, breathe in, broaden your collarbones, up dog. Breathe out, drive belly button to spine, hips high, downward facing dog. Take 3 rounds of breath here. Press your hands and your feet into the earth and then away from each other. Palms press forward, feet press backward. Draw in through your ribs and then reach your heart back toward your thighs. Keep the sides of your neck long so the shoulders are spreading, they're broadening, but they're not pulling up or wrapping around toward the neck. Inhale, look to the top. Exhale, travel there, feet together. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, fold. Press down, reverse swan dive, rise all the way up to stand and gaze to the thumbs. As you breathe out, palms to prayer, press into your left foot and float your right knee in toward your chest. Flex your toes. Now, try to steady your balance through all 4 corners of the left foot so you have a stable foundation. Breathe in, activate your core, and see if you can draw your right knee in closer to your chest. So there's a contraction in the core. Soften your right hip crease to bring the knee in 1 inch closer. Breathe in here. Good, breathe out. Keeping a flex in the right ankle, hook it outside of your left thigh into a figure 4 shape, and then allow your hips to begin sinking, standing pigeon. Sweet breaths. The inhale finds elongation through your spine. Your heart is stretching to your thumbs. And the exhale lets your hips melt a little closer toward the earth, even if the melt is like an internal one that doesn't appear in the external expression of the posture. Find your gaze, 1 point to focus the eyes. Breathe in. Breathe out, melt. Inhale. Press through the left foot, rise to stand, float the right knee and the fingertips high. As you exhale, flex your foot, hover it an inch away from the earth, cactus your elbows, then reach your heart forward as the toes glide back into airplane pose. Take a big breath in here, elongate. As you exhale, bend the left knee, reach forward with your arms to counter the balance of right toes stepping back. Land them softly to the earth, and then bring your fingertips down to the mat. So from here, flex the left foot and roll to the knife edge of your foot. Allow your knee to fall open. The fingertips are forward and wider. Take a breath in. Pull left foot and right foot toward one another, firming the back thigh and drawing the hips toward the sky. Now, as you exhale, bend your elbows and glide into some depth. It's like your heart is reaching for the left big toe. 2 more like this. The inhale inflates the pelvis, elongates the spine. And then the exhale, you can settle into that deep hip opening stretch on the left side. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. Stay, breathe. 3 rounds here, sinking into this depth. If you need, you can lower the back knee, but if not, try to keep it lifted. Feel the fire in your thigh. Good. Press down. Rise up. Palms frame the left foot. Take an inhale to prepare. As you exhale, press down, round your spine, and float it back to downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale and travel to the top of your mat. Breathe in, halfway lift, lengthen out. Breathe out, fold. Inhale, press through your feet, reverse swan dive, rise to stand. Palms to the sky. As you exhale, palms to prayer, heart center. Press into right foot and pick up your left one. Flex your toes. Take an inhale. Press evenly into your right foot as much as you stretch the crown of your head for the sky, growing longer. On the exhale, use your core, recruit the core to pull the left knee in closer to your heart. 1 more breath in. As you exhale, keeping the foot flexed, hook left ankle outside of right thigh and widen your knee. Begin to sit your hips low and back as the heart continues stretching forward toward your thumbs. Now, as much as you're pulling back on the left toes, can you also press a little bit out through the big toe mound? 2 more breaths here. Inhale, create the space. Exhale, glide into that space. Start to press down, rise up to stand, left knee high, arms high, inhaling. As you exhale, glide the left foot to hover away from the mat, cactus your elbows, then reach back with your toes and forward with your heart. Fingertips go back. Breathe in your airplane pose, finding so much length. As you breathe out, bend your right knee and land your left toes as softly as possible to the back of the mat, slower than you want to. Good. Once the toes land, bring your fingertips down and forward of your right foot. Pick up the right foot except for the heel, and then turn onto the knife edge of your foot as your knee widens. Same idea with the flexing of the toes. The toes are flexing back, but then you're pressing a little bit out through the right big toe mound. Take an inhale. Draw the feet toward one another. Lift through the pelvis. As you exhale, sink low. 2 more like this, pulsing into this lizard pose. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more time, breathe in. Feel the left thigh really active and vibrant. Exhale, sink. Settle into your depth. You can still move a bit if you'd like for these next couple of breaths, maybe massaging side to side or rolling forward and back. Good. Bring the sole of your right foot flat to the earth. Palms frame the foot. Draw back on your hips so the right leg comes straight-ish. Breathe in, preparing. Breathe out, press down. Round your spine, use your core, and step into downward facing dog. Big inhale through your nose. Take a sigh out of your mouth. Let that go. On your next inhalation, press the left toes down and stretch your right leg high, three-legged down dog. As you exhale, lift the left heel, hug your right knee forward to your right tricep. Hold and squeeze it here. Keeping connection between knee and tricep, pivot your right shin to a 45 or 90-degree angle, and then softly lower the foot, then the shin, then the knee to the mat, setting up for half pigeon. Drag your left toes back until you can bring your knee to the earth. And then walk your fingertips in toward your front shin, or maybe beside you if it's available. Take a moment sitting upright to feel that right knee and left knee are hugging toward each other. As you squeeze them together, can you also lift the pelvic floor? Think pubic bone to sternum. Take a couple breaths like this. Feel the fire building in the inner thighs and feel how square and steady your hips are toward the top of the mat. And before folding forward, if you'd like, you can walk your fingertips even further back. Draw the shoulder blades together at the back of your heart to prop it up, and then lengthen up through the heart and maybe lean back just slightly. Just going to where it feels good. Breath in. And breath out, fold down into sleeping pigeon. And we'll take a few rounds of breath here. You can untuck your back toes. Try to still feel the engagement between your inner thighs. Soften the creases of your forehead. Relax all the tiny muscles around your mouth. Release your jaw. Allow the breath to be like it's warming any tension, like it's heating it up so that the tension can become this like drippy, melty thing that you can move through rather than a solid that has resistance to it. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Press down, come up, walk your hands in, and then sit to your right sit bone and swing your left leg around. We'll find double pigeon. Right shin will stay as it is. Before we move into it, see if you can grab for the sole of your right foot and flex so that the knife edge presses into your palm. And then you can take your left hand to your knee and just kind of cradle rock your leg from side to side. If you're good here, you can bring the eye of your elbow around the left knee and then the eye of your opposite elbow maybe to the foot, keeping the flex, keeping the knife edge pressing in, and rock here a couple times. Good. You can release this, and now we'll find double pigeon. So the left ankle hooks outside of your thigh. Wiggle until you can find both sit bones to the earth and actively flex your toes, protecting the knee joint in doing so. Breathe in, lift up through your spine. Breathe out, just stay seated upright and notice what you can feel here. And maybe this is where you stay. If you'd like, you can start to migrate more forward, but go slowly and gradually. There's no rush. Take your time to feel through all the layers of sensations. When you encounter resistance, notice the way that you encounter it. And if it's a forceful encounter, see if you can soften around the edges. So it becomes like a working with your body rather than working against. One more breath here. Inhale through the nose. Deep exhale. Press down, make your way up. Uncross your legs so that you can cross only at the ankles. Roll over your shins, place your palms, and step into downward facing dog. Next inhalation, reach your right leg stays rooted. Reach your left leg high, three-legged down dog. And then exhale, come forward, left knee, left tricep, holding and squeezing, press them together. Then start to revolve your shin to face to the top of the mat, 45 or 90 degrees or anywhere in between. Lower the shin and drag your right toes back. Come up to fingertips, walk them in toward your pelvis. Take a few moments, upright pigeon. Pull your knees together, lift the pelvic floor. You might even notice that your pelvis wants to float away from the earth because of how much you're engaging. Keep all of that. And then you can sink back down to earth when you're ready. Find for a moment a little back bend if you did so on the first side, or if you feel like you'd like it. Lift your heart, lift your eyes, lean back. When you're ready, take an exhale breath and come down onto the forearms or forearms to blocks or wherever is a good place for you to be and to breathe. And let the magic of breath and body interacting do the work here. Try to relax the mind as if you could soften even your brain. Begin to press down, come back up to fingertips, walk them in toward you. Roll to the left sit bone and then swing your right leg around. Catch your foot with your left hand and press the knife edge of the foot into the hand. Then take right hand to right knee and begin to rock a little bit, side to side, opening everything up. Then maybe eyes of elbows wrap around your leg, and you can breathe here for a couple of rounds. Try to keep length through your spine wherever you are, rather than rounding back. Think of lifting your heart toward your shin. And then when you're ready, find your double pigeon alignment. Of course, it's okay to incorporate props if you have them, or if that's in your practice, or helping you to feel supported into these shapes. Maybe you bring a block beneath the top knee for more support. Find your sit bones and lift your heart, lift out of your spine. Stay upright for a couple breaths, just feeling. And we don't always pause in this upright space before folding forward, so there can be some nice little openings and discoveries here. As you're ready, if you'd like, you can glide forward. And this side might feel like a completely different body than the first side. That's my current experience today. So if you're noticing differences, just know that that's entirely normal. Just notice it, but try not to fixate on it too much. And we have 2 more rounds of breath here. How much can you soften? Begin to rise up. Cross your ankles. Come forward to hands and knees, and then make your way back into downward facing dog. If you'd like, you can rock out your hips here, shake your head no, and nod your head yes. Check back in with your breath and steady into the foundation of hands and feet rooting to the earth. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your mat, forward fold, feet together. Breathe in, halfway lift, lengthen. Breathe out, fold. Inhale, press down and rise up to stand, reverse swan dive, arms to the sky. As you exhale, palms to prayer, heart center, press into the left foot and float your right knee in toward your chest. Take a breath in, draw the knee closer toward your chest. As you breathe out, hook right ankle outside of left thigh. Inhale, reach your heart to your thumbs. Exhale, bend your left knee and begin to sink your hips low and back. Stay actively flexed through the right foot. Maybe you stay here. As you begin to come into more depth, you can play with reaching your heart forward and maybe bring the forearms down over the top of your right shin. Really lengthen, tailbone back, heart forward. And then on an exhale, see if you can tickle the mat with your fingertips. And maybe you stay here. If it's available, begin to hook the right toes outside of the left tricep, high up onto the arm, and really press your toes into your arm. Bring your palms flat as you come to the ball of your left foot. Now, think arms like chaturanga, elbows are hugging in. Start to lean forward and see if you can float the left foot away from the mat. Maybe you stay here in the figure 4 crow, and maybe you begin to kick back through the left leg into a flying pigeon. Keep pressing right toes to your upper arm. Contract your core. Gazes forward of your fingertips. When you're ready, you can land the left toes to the back of the mat and step into downward facing dog. If you are still in the standing pigeon, you can make your way through a vinyasa and then meet back in downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in, look forward. Breathe out and travel forward, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, just fold. Breathe in, press down, rise up to stand, fingertips high. Breathe out, one-legged Tadasana, left knee lifts, palms to prayer. Inhale, pull your knee toward your chest. Exhale, hook left ankle outside of the right thigh, and then begin to sink. Keep the spine elongating as you find your standing pigeon. Maybe you're staying here. If you are, continue reaching your tailbone back and heart to thumbs. Bend more deeply into the right knee and see if you can bring your elbows on top of the shin, the left shin. Breathe in, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Breathe out, tickle the mat with your fingertips. Maybe eventually palms come down and left toes hook outside of the right tricep. You're leaning forward so the upper arms become like a shelf for the left shin. Claw into your fingertips and play with floating the right toes, possibly staying here. Maybe you can start to kick your right leg to the back of your mat. Keep leaning forward. Keep energizing through your core. And then land the toes down and step into downward facing dog, or if you were still standing, find your way into a forward fold, a halfway lift, and a vinyasa. Shake out your head. Once you arrive in down dog, take a big inhale, pulling the energy up from hands and feet into the core of your pelvis. Open mouth, exhale, release. One more time, inhale. Open mouth, sigh. Let's play one more time on each side and really try to come back to that idea of just playing toward it or playing into it or letting go of any need to be perfect. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step to the top, folding in. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, fold. Inhale, press down and rise up to stand, fingertips high. Exhale, one-legged Tadasana, right foot lifts. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, standing pigeon. Stay anywhere on this journey toward flying pigeon. Maybe begin to reach your chest forward as you bring elbows to the top of the shin. Maybe hands to the mats. Notice if you have possibly more space on this round in the hips, if anything has opened up for you. Anchor your palms flat. Start to lean forward and maybe float the back foot, maybe gliding into the flying pigeon. And when you're ready, you can step down, find your way back into down dog, or keep playing as long as you'd like. From down dog, breathe in, look forward. Breathe out, step forward, feet together. Inhale, take a halfway lift and iron it all out. And then exhale just to fold down. Press through your feet. Inhale, rise to stand, gaze up. As you exhale, hug left knee toward your chest. One more inhale, activate your core. Exhale, left ankle outside right thigh. Sink down. Have about 5 breaths to play, or take more time if you need. Always okay to pause the video. Just be where you are. If you're shifting into the flying pigeon, bring your palms down. Grip the mat with your fingertips. Lean forward and shift your gaze forward. And you can start to float your back foot and maybe glide your right leg to the back of your mat. We meet back in downward facing dog, however you would like to get there. If you're coming from standing, you can take a vinyasa or just bring your palms down and step your feet back. Big inhale through your nose. Open mouth, sigh, let it go. One more time, inhale. Exhale, sigh, cleanse, clear, release. Lift your heels and bring your knees to the mat. Take them wide, toes together to touch, and walk yourself out into child's pose. And let your body be like really melty, drippy into the earth, like you're made of honey. And spread breath, especially into the hip creases. And see with every exhale if the sit bones can travel closer toward the heels. Let go of any activations in your arms. Palms of hands soft, fingers soft. Press down. Make your way up to hands and knees. Let's take a few rounds of cat-cows. As you inhale, soften the front body, contract the back body. Let these be sweet cat-cows, nothing forceful or overly arched. And then when you exhale, rounding in through the core, press the ground away from you. Drop your head. 2 more times with breath. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. And out. Neutralize your spine. Bring your right elbow to the mat, and then bring the right hand to the back of your shoulder blade. Come on up onto left fingertips and start to turn your heart toward the left side of your mat, opening into the lat and the tricep on the right side. Keep the hips floating over the knees. And breathe to what you feel, directly to it. Release and switch sides. Left elbow down. Hand comes to the back of the shoulder blade. Lean your chest a little bit forward first as you come onto right fingertips, and then turn your chest open toward the right side of the mat and Isometrically draw back on the left elbow. One more breath. Good, and release. Come back through tabletop and then all the way down to a seat. Stretch your feet forward. Flex your toes back to your face. Anchor the sitting bones. Breathe in to lengthen through your spine. And then breathe out, Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Grab for what's available and just fold into yourself. You can close your eyes. Breathe into the whole back body, down the spine, into the backs of the legs, calves, Achilles tendons, even spreading through the soles of the feet. Take 2 more breaths here. Start to make your way back up. Walk your fingers in towards your hips and then draw your feet to the mat. Shift your hips a little forward and bring your palms down beside you. The fingertips can point forward or back. Take an inhale to prepare. As you exhale, press straight down through hands and feet and bridge your hips up toward the sky into a reverse tabletop. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Activate your glutes and maybe drop your head back so that it's cradled by the shoulders. One more breath in. See if you can stretch the hips higher. As you breathe out, gently release the pelvis back down to the mat. And you can keep the feet flat. As you inhale, reach forward. As you exhale, roll all the way down to lie on your back. Go slow for 5. For 4, plug your big toes down. For 3, last 2, 1, and then spread your shoulder blades and the back of your head into the earth. Hug your knees into your chest. Take a couple moments to make circles on the low back, massaging the sacrum. And then go the other direction. And then curl into a tight ball. Float the shoulder blades, wrap the forearms around the shins and squeeze here. Breathe in. Breathe out, Savasana. Let everything melt. Let everything open. And let everything rest. Feel your eyelids get heavy. Feel your bones get heavy. Allow your skin to soften. And we'll stay here, absorbing the effects of the practice for the next couple of minutes, just in rest. And begin to bring depth back to your breath. And send your awareness into your fingers and your toes and let them light up with little movements once again. And when you're ready, take a long body stretch. Inhale, arms back, toes forward, like you're just waking up for the first time all day. Elongate. As you exhale, find fetal pose, rolling to one side or the other. Relax down into gravity for another moment. Keep your eyes closed. And then press into your palms and come back up to Sukhasana. Easy seat, just like we started. Find anchoring and heaviness into the pelvis. And then buoyancy through the spine, like you're growing infinitely longer through the crown of your head. Bring the palms facing up on your thighs and draw the tips of thumbs and index fingers to connect. Feel energy vibrating between these two fingers. Check in again with your intention. Recognize any discoveries or openings you found around this intention. And then recognize all the efforts you made in this practice today. Find a moment of authentic gratitude for your body. Draw your palms to meet at heart center. Take an inhale, reach your heart to your thumbs. And as you exhale, bow your chin to your chest. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing this flying practice with me today. I hope that it was fun, and I hope that you were able to let go a bit of the outcome. This posture, flying pigeon, for me is one that on some days feels really expansive, and on other days it's a lot more challenging. And same thing from side to side. Sometimes one side is like feeling really good, and then I'll go to the other side and things are a little wonky. So just have patience with the process. And so even if you didn't come into the flying pigeon, I hope you still got a great hip opening practice today. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, you can go down below and do that. You can also join as a monthly donation member. Both of these really help to support me, and I so appreciate all of your support and kind words. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.